here to setup, and we're gonna change this just slightly. We're gonna say our end speed here is gonna be higher. I'm gonna go up to about 8,000. Let's see how high we can get here. There's 78, there's 81. So that should be perfect right there at 8,100. And then the start speed where we begin, I'm gonna bump this up as well. And we'll start off here, 3,800, probably fine. And the duration now is over 6.4 seconds. So we're keeping a similar duration, which gives us a similar load on the engine, so we can really compare things a little bit better as we're doing this. But 6-7 seconds is a good duration on the mainline dyno for engine loading. So let's go here and click OK. And I'm gonna go to begin. All right, so the dyno is set up. So I think we're all ready to go to do our very first test and pull here, okay? So let's fire it up. All right, and we're just gonna let the engine sit here. We wanna make sure that the ECU state is, we gotta find our ECU state here, is not an after start. Again, we're kind of just peeking in on that. Let that dissipate. I'm gonna hit the dyno fan on. All right, we see after starts went away. So we should be good to do our first pull. What I am gonna do is keep my eye on what the actual fueling is doing as we get into boost. If it goes lean, I'm gonna lift out of it. Even though we have the lambda guard set up so that we'll shut things down if it gets too lean, I'm still gonna just be cautious with this because it's our first pull with VTEC engaging, and we have a lot of unknowns in the actual VE table. We don't know what the fueling exactly is gonna be at. Let's test this all out. Okay, everything seemed okay. The fueling seemed fairly close. It was probably a little richer than target, and that's okay. We can tweak and adjust this, but at least I think everything looks safe here as we're doing our pulls. Let's actually take a look. We're gonna just look at our graph and see if VTEC engaging at 4,000 seems smooth. Kind of get an idea there, and then we're gonna go look at our data and interpret it. So let's look here at our, looking here at our dyno pool. 270 horsepower, 214 torque. Notice on the top end here, it kind of died and it just fell off. Now I did notice it sounded kind of flat when we were doing the pull, so it sounded good, and then all of a sudden it kind of just almost sounded like it choked on the top end, and that's what we're seeing here. We'll have to see what is going on with that. Let's go here to save run, and I want to call this VTEC 1, okay? And let me just flip over here. We can compare this. Just look at our VTEC engagement point. So this is a good reference to try to figure out if VTEC was good or not. So VTEC is our last pull. Low cam 8 was our previous pull. Let's get rid of these other pulls here and just do an overlay. What we're looking for, and we're comparing on the dyno here, the two runs, the green obviously with VTEC on, the yellows with VTEC off. When we have VTEC engaging here at roughly 4,000 RPM, I'm not noticing any dipping or bogging going on right here. So that means that the VTEC engagement at approximately 4,000 is going to be good. If we saw that we had a bogging, and it would be pretty distinctive, you'd feel it. You'd feel the VTEC engage, it'd be an abrupt engagement. That wouldn't be ideal, and we'd have to go in and adjust that either up or down in VTEC engagement. But I think 4,000 is a sweet spot. Again, just looking at that VE value from the low cam table gave me a good indication of where I should go in and engage it. This is obviously problematic here on the top end, so we're gonna have to dig into the data and take a look at what happened there. All right, let's flip over to the dyno screen. I'll hit begin, so we're ready to go for the next pull. Let's actually jump in here. I have that log. I don't know what we have here in terms of our graphs. We have selected so we can review that data log. Okay, so here is that log. Let's actually zoom in here. It's at the end here. Okay, looks like boost crept up here to about 146. Let's do a few things here. I can't see this in this window. And we may have to. I actually like the other tuning layout a little bit better, but let's just pan through here. We're gonna pan through and first take a look at what our wideband here it was showing us, and we could probably change some of these lanes around so we could see things better, but let's see. On the top end here, okay, we're much richer than the target. 77 lambda, and I think we're programming, where's our target lambda at? 82. So we're richer. That's fine. I put a little bit too high of VE values in there. And that's kind of going through the entire pool here as I'm just looking at that. There's a 76 lambda. We have VTEC engaging around 4,000. So it was just slightly rich. What I'm going to do is just grab my VE values here. I'm going to use the minus button and hit that down maybe 3-4%. So hit minus 3-4 times and just go ahead and reduce that. But the bigger concern I have right now is when VTEC actually is engaging. First, let's just verify that we are hitting.
Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.